Why, hello, you amazing, beautiful people. How are you doing? Welcome back to another anime reaction video. I'm a man of my word. I went back to my previous video. I checked the comment section, and a comment with nearly 100 upvotes was this one right here, asking me to react to 2010's The Decade Anime Grew Up by the one and only Gigguk. So, I'm gonna be a man of my word again. That sentence doesn't make sense, but it also does. Go to the comment section down below, and whatever is the most liked and most upvoted comment will be my next anime reaction. This has been pretty fun doing it this way. We'll do it this way going forward, and at least that way, it's a democracy, you know? And who doesn't love democracy? I know Emperor Palpatine, he does love democracy, you know? So yeah, go to the comment section, leave your recommendations. Make sure you press that like button while you're down there as well to support this video, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, well then, you're evil, okay? And it's million years bad luck, so press subscribe. And let's jump into my first time ever reaction to the amazing Gigguk, which, by the way, go subscribe to him too. 2010's The Decade Anime Grew Up.
10 years of anime. The start of 2020 marks the start of a new decade, and with that also comes the end of a decade of anime.
Like,
10
anime
years is a pretty damn long time, especially if you take a look back at just how much has changed within that time period. So instead of doing a top X anime of the 2010s, which pretty much everyone else has already done at this point and would be far too much work for a video already 2 months into the new year, I thought I could take this opportunity to reflect on what's happened to anime as a whole in the past 10 years from the perspective of someone who's been an avid fan of the medium for the entirety of that time. I've watched as anime has slowly grown and changed over the years. We've seen a lot of good, we've seen a lot of bad, we've seen a lot of weird, which we've come to expect from anime. So you know what? Let's start with that. Just
wait, hold on. Let me just unpack what was just said, like, over the course of 5 seconds. We've seen a lot of good, we've seen a lot of bad, and we've seen a lot of weird. And we saw someone shooting something out of their ass, at which point Gigguk then says, let's start with that! Yep, that sounds like Gigguk.
How much did anime grow in the 2010s?
How's this?
Anime feels like it's on its way to the big boy leagues. In the 2000s, it felt like this niche little industry, and now, for better or worse, we're in an entirely new playing field. Our small little fan-run companies have either been bought out by large international megacorporations, or other large international megacorporations have decided to enter the market. It's kind of jarring to see just how much the environment has changed. At the start of the decade, we saw Crunchyroll completely revolutionize the industry by bringing in anime simulcasts, and in just the 10 years since then, we've seen both the rise and fall of the golden age of streaming. Yes, it really is over. Though, to be fair, this isn't an anime exclusive problem. There was a time when all you needed was a Netflix account and you would have access to pretty much everything you wanted to. And there was also a...
What show was that? Was that The Witcher? Man, that show started off really well. It is true. It is actually true. The rise and fall of streaming. I kind of agree. I think, I'm actually curious to see where it goes, because greed is an evil thing these days, and all these companies are just greedy, and that's why this all happens. That's why they're all raising their prices. And the whole reason a lot of us went over to subscription services in the first place was because we wanted, you know, the instant demand of being able to watch TV and entertainment and having like a lot to choose from. But now there's so many, like, you need subscriptions to all of them, and at that point you might as well just have a TV subscription and watch them anyway. You know what I mean? At what point do we just get fed up and go back to TV?
A time when you can look up the upcoming season, pick every new anime that looked interesting to you, and think to yourself, yeah, these will probably all be on Crunchyroll. Nowadays, streaming feels like it's getting closer and closer to that cable model we thought we had left behind. However, thanks to that golden age, anime's increased accessibility meant a lot more people got to watch it. The medium is far more popular than it ever has been, validating what we as fans
I would love
always
to go to like
knew.
an anime
Anime is fucking great, and if more people got the chance to see it, they'd probably like anime too. And that is...
I'm not one of these people that's like, no, protect anime. You can't come in here and protect anime. Mainly because I've only been watching anime for like two and a half years or whatever. So I'm new to this scene. I'm definitely one of these people that feel like the more people that watch it, the bigger it gets, the better it gets, right? More eyes on anything is always better, right? It always grows that thing. And if we love something, we should want it to do well.
Exactly what's happened. We've gotten to the point where it's no longer seen as this niche, weird hobby only watched by basement dwellers who want to see cartoon girls get fucked by tentacles. Not that we exactly don't want to see that. But it's still not quite...
No, we don't. Definitely not.
Quite mainstream yet either.
Only
the
Gigguk
medium has
does.
grown a lot, but with that has come growing pains. Problems we used to view from afar from bigger communities like gaming or movies have slowly popped up in our own. It feels like I can't go a week without some new controversy coming out or some hot take about some irrelevant issue in My Hero Academia or Demon Slayer being posted on Twitter. There no longer feels like there's this same community homogeny around being an anime fan, and with the increased corporate vibe the industry has right now, companies need to realize that the honeymoon period is gone. While at one point the fandom was rooting for them to succeed and was willing to look over a lot of things because we were this small, tight-knit community that wanted to see anime grow, as it does, people will, and rightly so, hold them to the same standards they hold to companies in bigger, more well-established industries. And that standard...
Exactly. Like obviously I wasn't part of that, so I don't know, but I can understand what Gigguk's saying. When this was coming up, it was like more of an underground thing, had less fans, especially across the world, you know, more so in Japan in particular, was where it was sort of big at the beginning. So as it becomes more of a corporate thing and there's more money behind it, people are going to expect bigger and better things, right? You're going to expect that. So if you get the same things, it's going to be more harshly critiqued. So understanding that, I guess, is like a, you know, we're taking steps into
hasn't always been met. Industry or community, you can't get away with some of the same things you used to, and we've all needed to come to accept that, yes, anime has changed. I don't want that to come off as completely negative though, because I'm
actually really curious to read the comments on this video. Share me some of your stories about this, because for me, I'm an outsider to this. But you guys experienced the change of anime. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's changed for the better, it's changed for the worse, or a bit of both?
Pick where we are now over where we started any day of the week. It's exciting to be an anime fan now. It's never been easier to find people I can share my passion with. And most surprisingly, we've also been able to establish that yes, Japan does actually give a fuck about us on the outside. We are no longer just an afterthought. We have a tangible pull and a voice that is heard. And not to forget the biggest effect we've seen, which is there is lots and lots of new anime now, and the quality,
I wonder where your eyes went with that,
actually been pretty damn good. Media overload was a thing, and this was no different for anime. Around the middle of the decade was when I started to feel overwhelmed about the sheer number of anime coming out, and around the end of the decade was when I started to feel overwhelmed about the sheer number of good anime coming out. That's not to say the best of anime we saw before can't match what's coming out now, but
the amount of comments I get for just telling me this anime is amazing, that anime is amazing, this anime is amazing, and then people get upset because they're like, Luke's only watching like the big anime. And it's like, I have to say, like, I'm new to this. You guys have seen all of the anime, including the big anime. I ain't seen shit or nothing. So like, I'm new. I've seen less than 100 anime still, although we're about to break that. So the reason that stuff gets recommended is because I'm brand new to this scene. You guys who have seen like 1,000 or hundreds have seen a lot that you can tell me which ones are the best. And I just have you guys to go on. So keep that in mind. One day I'll be where you are, but for now, I'm still following behind.
I honestly don't think we consistently get as many good anime as we do now. Or to put it in a way that's more current, I feel we are getting as many S-tier shows as we ever did, but on average, I think the number of A and B tier shows have increased drastically. And because of that, I think...
Did this motherfucker...
Average, I think the number of A and B tier...
This motherfucker put Dr. Stone, Demon Slayer... I'm trying to work out what that one is there. He put Kaguya-sama Love is War and Violet Evergarden. 3 of these anime are in my top 5 anime of all time, and they're in his A-B tier list. Fuck you, Gigguk.
Shows have increased
you made an enemy
drastically. And because of that, I think my patience with shows has just decreased so much. I look back at some of the shows I considered pretty decent when I was first getting into anime, and now I compare it to some of the seasonal stuff coming out, and I think to myself, holy shit, this wouldn't even be a C-tier show compared to some of the stuff airing today, and now I'm having trouble finding the patience to stick with a show if it's not at least something like a high B tier, unless, you know, it's that trashy show of the season I put on for some mindless entertainment. Part of the reason I found it so hard to watch shows I've missed is because there hardly feels like there's an opportunity to do so, and I'm just stuck in this perpetual cycle. One of the biggest notable changes has come in the form of viewing habits, most notably the takeover of the seasonal anime cycle as the primary way to discover and consume new anime. This is
very true. I constantly get messages all the time about like the seasons of anime and what I need to be watching, and me as someone who does like as many videos as I do a day, which I think people forget. We do like a minimum of 5 videos a day across our 2 channels. So it's quite a lot of content. But the seasonal anime is something I am trying to get into more because that's where a lot of people want me to. But fuck me, it is difficult. There's so much, and so much that gets recommended.
Something I've only really seen take control within the last 10 years. The first anime I ever found myself watching weekly was Nisei Monogatari in 2012. And I feel it was around that time, at the start of the decade, where the whole concept of seasonal anime started to become a thing. Before that, I was never concerned about looking for the newer shows. I was just looking for good shows. I looked to the classics. I looked to shows I'd never heard of. I looked to shows that had a cool looking character someone has set as their profile picture and gave a blind watch based on just that. There wasn't this homogenous place anime fans looked to find new shows, and we had the entire history of anime as our playground. Of course, now it's far more focused on what's hot and new. Like, even if you're not
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood always reminds me of the summer. I've said this before. I think it's because I watched it in the summer, and I always say this, and there's something that now the weather's getting warmer, I have this weird pull to go back and watch it. Such an awesome
Following the
anime.
newest seasonal shows weekly,
So
it's
good.
likely that most of the shows you'll find yourself watching have come out within the past year and only occasionally goes further back than that. So, what changed? Obviously, the rise of instant streaming platforms allowed us access to the newest anime at a rate we never had before. No reliance on fan subgroups to pick up a show, no waiting for episodes to get subbed. They were out as they were airing in Japan on a consistent schedule. And importantly, that gave anime this social aspect. The seasonal cycle gave us a ground zero we could gather around and discuss that was far more tangible than the unwritten classic anime list we had before. Like, even for casual watchers who don't follow the cycle, they still would have heard of a show like Demon Slayer when it was out because everyone just started talking about it. Instead of asking, what have you watched? We started asking, are you watching? To me, this is the biggest change. The idea of watching anime as a social experience was so completely alien to me at one point. I mean, the entire reason I started this YouTube channel was because I literally had no one I could talk about anime with. And the ironic fact is that if I had gotten into anime within this past decade, there would be no Gigguk. Because now the social aspect has become such a massive part of the anime watching experience.
For me, that's kind of the same too, but like slightly different. So I didn't get into YouTube because I had no one to talk to these things about. I got into YouTube because I wanted to explore more. But now I'm at a point where you guys have shown me all this different stuff, anime and different kinds of music and artists and that sort of stuff. So now I don't have anyone to talk about other than you guys. Like, there's no one in my life who heavily consumes a lot of the media that I am now consuming, thanks to all of you. Meaning that once I finish recording, I just go sit in that corner. I just sit there and I just sit and I just stare at nothing. Because I got no one to talk to anything about. I just stare. I've only got you guys. Behind the screen, no one cares what I have to say.
It's never been easier to talk about it, share your thoughts on it, find communities to discuss it. And I do admit, it's very fun to be part of the discussion. So the seasonal anime cycle will likely be the way forward to go now for the foreseeable future. Which leads us nicely into the franchises that had the biggest impact in the last 10 years. We've seen a handful of new titles rise up to leave their mark on not only the decade, but a whole new generation of anime fans. But with that, we also saw the end of franchises that marked the previous generation. The age of the big three ended this decade, with Naruto and Bleach closing out their stories, and it really was an end of an era. Naruto was the
Right. I'm skipping past this. I don't want to hear shit all about Naruto. Especially when it's just like, this is the end of Naruto. And I'm currently watching Naruto. I don't want to see nothing. I'm skipping past this. I don't know what part to skip to, so I'm just going to skip like loads ahead and then I'll slowly rewind. But there ain't no fucking way I'm hearing shit all about Naruto. It looks like Naruto's mentioned quite a lot, actually. Ah, man. I'm gonna do a giant skip. Wait, no, I'm way up here. Here? Films. Alright, I'll go on films. I'm skipping past. Ain't no one spoiling shit for me. No one. By the way, when you're watching this, last night I would have done an entire freaking Naruto subathon, by the way, on Twitch.
Films. A lot of people asked why I didn't mention any films in my 2019 retrospective, and the simple answer for that is because, well, I just didn't get a chance to see many. The only one I did get to see was Promare, which was fucking awesome, luckily because it got an English dub theatre release.
I've heard that's good.
Here in Japan, with Japanese subtitles.
Ha!
Yeah.
That's
I don't know
amazing.
which dimension I've woken up in either.
That's kind of
The
funny.
reverse card dimension?
Yeah, I don't really
Before,
get that,
the
but
thought
that's
of seeing
kinda funny.
anime movies in theaters was a distant pipe dream outside of limited Ghibli film runs, but now, if a film even has a moderate amount of hype around it, there's a decent chance it'll get a screening in a major city, at least if you live here in the West. Love it or think it's overrated, you can't deny how much the anime film industry has Your Name to thank for its current environment. It broke box office records worldwide and proved that there was a market for anime films, prompting every
Honestly, it's just to this day one of the best films I've ever seen, man. And it's not just Your Name. There's so many that I love. Suzume is absolutely amazing. Weathering with You is absolutely amazing. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is absolutely amazing. Bunch of the Ghibli movies we watched are amazing. What was it? Look Back? What's the name of that one? Amazing. There's so many good movies out of the anime scene, man. It's crazy. And
major
all of them
outlet to
deserve
ask,
to be watched.
have we found the next Miyazaki? For like the third time. While we haven't reached that same kind of community homogeny where we can talk about the latest films and expect everyone to have gotten a chance to see it, the fact that we even can see an announcement for a new hype anime film and think to ourselves, wow, I can't wait to see this when it comes out in theaters, is absolutely amazing to me.
Silent
and I hope
Voice,
this is a trend that
incredible
will
movie.
spread even further globally during the new decade. I mean, look at all the new anime films we have to look forward to, like How Do You Live by this young up-and-coming director. Who
So
knows,
young.
if this film becomes a big hit, he might even become the next Miyazaki. And I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Looking back at the last decade as a whole, if I had to sum up what's happened to
We got
anime
some
in a
banging
single
ones here.
sentence,
We got
for me,
ReZero.
anime started to grow up. Outside of the confounds of hardcore fans discussing it in online forums, it grew from being a niche industry that only catered towards
Have I
one
seen that one?
country.
That one looks
It
well
grew from being this small, distinguishable
Abyss, man. I
medium
want more
to
Made
a
in
flourishing
Abyss.
staple of nerd culture as a whole. It's been a joy to see the journey it took, not just as a fan, but someone who's been creating
And I want
anime
more Hunter
content
x
on
Hunter!
YouTube for that whole
So
time.
much more,
Yes,
man.
if you didn't know, my first upload was in 2007, and somehow in that time I've grown enough to become a professional anime. Oh no, get that word away from me. Are these really the only two options for my official job title?
I like that one. I like that one more.
I'll take it. I have a lot to be thankful for in these past 10 years, and I never actually thought anime would get to this point. But one thing I
2007?
don't think
My
would have
guy's been
ever
uploading for
changed,
that long.
regardless of what happens,
Amazing.
is my passion for this medium. It's been an exciting 10 years of anime, and I don't know what the next 10 years are going to be like, except for the fact that I'm definitely going to be there to watch it all the way.
Man, this is a really cool video.
Hey guys, Gigguk here. Hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you.
Shout out to Gigguk. Shout out to his Patreon. He's about to do all his Patreon plug-in here, so shout out to his Patreon as well. If you're not subscribed to his Patreon, subscribe to his Patreon, all right? He's a very handsome man. You should subscribe for that reason alone. I'm going to leave a link to this handsome chap's channel in the description, so make sure you go show him all the love he absolutely deserves. Although I imagine most of you watching this are already subscribed to this absolute legend. It's kind of interesting for me. A video like this, I would say, is super bizarre for a content creator like me, because I'm not part of this. This is a video outside of me. Like, I'm brand new. Like, in comparatively to the entire size of anime, I'm very new to this whole freaking scene. I haven't been part of these journeys, part of these stories. I haven't been part of any of this. This is all alien to me, which I find really interesting, you know? Really interesting, kind of fun. Like, the fact that this is all new. So you guys, a lot of you watching this, are probably similar to Gigguk, who have been part of this for a long time and have seen and witnessed and been part of the change of the change of content and the change of medium and how it is consumed, and a change of quality as well, and like change of community and the vastness of the growth of the community. Whereas for me, I've stepped into it when it's already been established. Like I haven't seen any changes in anime because I'm not at a point where it's changing. I'm just in here now. So I find it more interesting talking to other people about this, because you guys can educate me on something I can't experience. I can only experience this through videos like this and through you guys. You know, the change. It's not something I've ever known. For me, I will say, coming into the anime community, I just felt very loved. It's been very fun. It feels like a community that doesn't take itself too seriously, other than the odd, you know, couple of people who seem to really take it seriously and really anti anyone criticizing anything. But in general, the anime community is a community just full of people who love and respect this medium and the platforms around it and just the entertainment and the culture and everything. And there's a lot of passion and respect. And as someone who just like stepped into it as a complete outsider who had no interest in ever watching anime, I have to say I had the best time being greeted by all of you, by the anime community. I felt like everyone was very welcoming. Everyone's very passionate about what they love, and I've had a really fun time going down this rabbit hole, and I feel like we've created a really wonderful little community around it, and it's just been kind of brilliant. You know, I've had such a wonderful time. I've had some of the best experiences. I haven't cried more in my life than I have watching anime. I've had like some of the best experiences watching anime. Some of my favorite shows of all time are anime related shows. And there's no exaggeration to that. That is true. Like when I finished Attack on Titan, I considered it one of the best shows I'd ever consumed in my life. Hunter x Hunter and Attack on Titan are my two all-time favorite animes, and I feel like they are both just masterfully well done, and yet completely different, you know? Violet Evergarden is just this beautiful artistic piece of a heartbreaking story that is so stunningly well designed. You just find yourself mesmerized not only by the story, but by every single shot. Every movement, every breath, you're just taken back by the stunning, picturesque, artistic nature of it. And there's so many anime that falls under that umbrella, and the different categories and stories, and then you got the communities and fandoms behind them, and it's just an everlasting, expansive, wonderful community to be a part of. And I feel very grateful, and it's fun checking out a video like this that's very much like completely alien to me, you know? And it was a good recommendation because it just showed me something I didn't even think about. So yeah, thank you for recommending this one. I hope you guys all enjoyed my reaction. If you did, please like and subscribe. And yeah, let me know what you want me to react to next. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. And as always, my friends, you will see me in the next video.